it. I think one other thing, as I mentioned, like I do this show with like my roommate from college, who's also a like VP of marketing. So Boris, and Boris has like a story about Kanye West. So I think Boris is going to hop on and tell his story.
What's up, Greg? What's up, Mahmoud? Thanks for having me. Yeah, so the story is I used to be the general manager of a couple of hotels in Colombia.
That your dad owns.
Yeah, that my dad owns, specifically in Cali. So maybe you guys have heard of the Cali cartel if you've seen Narcos. So, these were big sort of five-star corporate hotels. So we'd had like a lot of sort of high-profile politicians and presidents and ex-presidents and this kind of thing. But like none of that compared to just the mayhem of having Kanye West as a guest. So he arrived, I guess that must have been around a year and a half ago. And just immediately there was like several hundred people sort of camping out outside the hotel and just trying to, see him, say hello, get a picture, whatever. And as the word sort of seeped out, my phone just wouldn't stop ringing with like journalists trying to find out if it was true that he was in our hotel and how they could get a hold of him and whatnot. Eventually, I got a call from the mayor of Cali telling me, that his grandkids were big fans and he'd like to have a meeting with Kanye. He'd like his grandkids to meet Kanye. So I had to sort of set this up. And meanwhile, like at this point, Kanye didn't have an Instagram account. And for whatever reason, he started the account and like his very first post, you can check them out like right now, they're still there. The very first posts on his feed were in Cali. Like they were, little doodles he made on the hotel notepad and pictures he took of the city and whatnot. So anyway, eventually the mayor shows up with like a couple of Colombian kids and they put up like a music and dance show for Kanye. You can see it on his Instagram account. And then, the end of the story is he told us he wanted to go see the nightlife. He told us he wanted to go like see the city at night and go out and, hear some live music and party and whatnot. So like, I was just scared about what it would be like for this guy to leave the hotel with all these people camped out outside that were just gonna like swarm his car. So I called like the head of the city police and he sends like this whole, like motorbikes and police cars. There must have been like 7 police cars ready to take Kanye out to party. And then he canceled. So I didn't get to party with Kanye.
Maybe he will if he becomes the CEO of Genius.
Yeah, well, when was this?
This was towards the end of 2018. Yeah, like a little less than a year and a half ago.
Yeah, Kanye is capricious. When we were hanging out with Kanye, I was actually very frustrated because the 2 things I wanted him to do, one was I wanted him to invest in Genius, just like we had Nas and Pharrell and Eminem invest. And 2, I wanted him to use Genius and get a verified account. And he never did either one. He didn't invest because Ben told us he'd invested in Turntable FM, which was a really cool music app, but it ended up shutting down. So that kind of made him not trust tech investments. And I think the reason he didn't want to get verified was because he was like, Genius is cool, but it's kind of weird. Like he sent us the redesign to the app. Basically, the message he was trying to send in the redesign was that we should only do music.
Right.
He was kind of frustrated by us wanting to expand into like literature and stuff like that. He's like, no, just focus on rap music. But since 2018, I think he's changed a lot. I think campaigning for president, he didn't win, but I think it was good for him psychologically. Like seeing him on the Joe Rogan show, I absolutely loved it.
Right.
The responses he gave at the end, where he's like, what are you going to do if a war breaks out?
Right.
It's really showing a maturity. Like a lot of people think of Kanye as the same way they think of me. They think of us as just like immature weirdos. But now he's trying to show some maturity. Maybe that means someday I'll start being mature too.